Ahoy hoy! TrickyLUGers, hello everybody. How's it going today? Wow, I look very bright. I've been trying to there we go. It's a hard balance. Hope everybody's doing well today. Really looking forward. Well, first of all, you'll notice that Richard isn't here with me today because he is out on a job out of town all weekend. It's his first week away since lockdown started. So this is going to be this is going to be really interesting next 5 days. So there you go. So I'm gonna just real quick here. I want to do something. I want to fix up my camera just because it's really bothering me. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna try and fix that. Anyway, so I hope everybody's. I've got my coffee here in my Old Bay cup because Old Bay. And if you don't know what Old Bay is, you should familiarize yourself. It is the spice of my hometown, Baltimore, Maryland. It's like the yeah, it's the I don't know if it's the city's official spice, but it should be because it kind of is. All right. Well, on that note, let's see. Let's see who's here today. We've got a really fun show. Let's see. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Richard says hello. Um, let's see. Let's see who's here. All right. Alex23 is here. Apples. Again, Bob Board. How's it going, Dad? Brickanista is here. Brickman Mosaics Art. Bubs and Lava Bat. Chris Baby Yoda in Onboard Dragon Chalice. Wow. Cowboy Cornado, ahoy howdy. Debo Bricks is here, aka Don Brickles. Hooded One is here. Joel Marbella, John Luttrell, Johnny Cat, hey Johnny. Joshua Zender, Kristoffer Koster, who we'll all be meeting very shortly. Minifig Chick, Minifig Nick, Mira NL's a new name. Hey, welcome. Ms. Slow Brickta, Moto is here, Osorg, Rob Zaccardi, and Lana, and Vanessa, and Elena, hi. Shane Levan is here, hey Shane. Wilfred, bonsoir. Kim is here, of course. Oh, sorry, Zach Martinez, and then Kim, as we said, the period on the end of the sentence. Okay, so I'm gonna just real quick do a little bit of backstage magic here. I mean, I guess it's not really that magical, but it will definitely help from things being very erratic on my screen. There we go. That wasn't too bad, right? Happened pretty quick. All right, so let's see. What do we got today? Pins. Yes, so I've got somebody noted I have my pirate Lego shirt that I got from my friend, which I am a big fan of. It's a really good one. So we are so pin today. So I figured I've got this like black and white thing going on. I'm gonna go for a whole like black on black thing today. So this was a gift from our friend Gwyneth. Oh, hey Gary, good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, welcome to all the newcomers. Here we go. So wait. I have to make sure I have it turned the right way because the pin is in the middle. There we go. Yes, I'm going to go with back on back. A gift from my friend Gwyneth. It is Maleficent, and you can see it's Angelina Jolie as Maleficent, but it's just kind of like her. So, oh, there we go. That's sort of better, right? A little silhouette there. I like this one. I can't say I'm a super fan of the movies, but I really love this pin. It's really good. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so there's some Lego news, right? There's some Lego news. Let's look at a little Lego news real quick. And yeah, sorry, Christopher. I didn't realize there was going to be news, and there was news at the last second, so I'm going to cover this news, and then we will go. we will go. Let's see. So where am I at with our? Here we go. Oh, let me open that first, so that we can all look at it, and I will try to make this work. Okay, so this isn't exactly centered correctly. Uh-oh. No, I didn't want to do that. Oh yeah, so this isn't exactly centered correctly, and let's see if I can't clean this up just a little bit for you, so that we'll get to see. There were some these new Harry Potter book sets announced this morning. Transfiguration class book set, so kind of like the Disney princess ones. And sorry, yes, our news is from the Brothers Brick. Thank you, Brothers Brick. Um, and it's on the online store now, and it is a transfiguration book, like I said, in the style of uh, the Disney princess books, storybooks, and these ones actually look much more detailed and are presented more like the book is a backdrop rather than the floor. So this looks kind of cool. Yeah, here we go. Um, Oh, Miss Tapcat got recognized as a Lego Fan Media. Awesome! Congratulations, Miss Tapcat. All right, let's see. Let's go back here. So, um, this is what's next. Okay, I had this other thing going. That one I may need to reconfigure that thing again. Um, but let's see. How about we welcome our guest on, everybody? He's gonna do some fun stuff with us. And guess what? I forgot to do. See, without Richard here, I forgot a sticker. Well, I can grab a sticker. It just won't have I just won't have all the detailed information. But let's go ahead and have Kristoffer on. Oops. Oh, there we go. Took a second. Oops, sorry.
There we go. Oops, I got double. Sorry.
A little behind it today.
Can you see me now?
There he is. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, everyone. And I don't have a pin today, but I had I found a magnet on my fridge.
Oh, very nice. Oh yeah, those were fun magnets. Those little magnet sets were cute, I thought.
Exactly. So, hey everybody.
So welcome to Kristoffer. You know, Kristoffer's been here with us on the show since the beginning, pretty much, right? Like you've been here for a while.
Yeah, basically, quarantine hit. I think that was the end of your show on Fox, and then basically I was looking for other Lego stuff to look at, and I started looking at YouTube as I moved home, and I needed something else to do in my free time, and between meetings and Zoom calls and all that stuff. And I found actually, I think Tiago online first.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I found you guys right afterwards. And so I watched him for like a little bit, and then he went on a little break, and started watching you guys. So it was like a continuation of the show.
That's so cool. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're here and you found us, and that you've been so. I mean, you were actually the key to getting Tiago on our show. You set that up, right?
Yeah,
so we have.
Yeah, I actually. So my introduction to Studio was I used to watch his videos, and I was trying to learn the program and try to figure things out. And he had those daily build challenges. And so I would go on to YouTube, watch those, and then try to build his build challenge before his video was over to learn the program. And then I told him that I built all the models in Studio, and if he didn't have a digital version of them and he wanted them, I'd happily send them to him. So I sent him a huge file with all the furniture that I made from his show.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's see. So I know you have a sticker, right? Why don't you show your sticker while I are you gonna screen share, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be on my screen.
Awesome. So you can go ahead and do that, and then I'm gonna find my sticker while you do yours.
There we go. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yep, there you go.
So on mine, like everyone had their dark ages, right? When I got back into Lego, they had the Creator Series like vehicles, and I owned a Mini Cooper, And so was one of my favorite models when it came out. I was like, I have to get this thing. Of course, I thought at the time, I'm like, gosh, these things are so pricey from when I was a kid. It was like $100 set or something like that. So I've got the set from the 242 Mini Cooper. I didn't own an old one, but my parents owned one way back when. I bought, of course, a new one. I always wanted to get an old one and fix it up. So I have the little Lego model, and that's about as close as I'm probably ever going to get to it. So
very nice.
And then I put another one on here too because I also follow Mr. Hinkle Draws. I don't know if people see him on Instagram.
Yeah, he's amazing. He did our logo.
Yeah, he's done quite a few, I think. The brothers, or not the brothers, Brick for.
He did Boone. He did Boone and Mark, and he did Sam, and I think a couple of others. But yeah, he's amazing.
And I saw him recently, and he was doing the Transformers, and I grew up with that as a kid in the '80s. So
nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll show. I found one. I have no idea what it is, and I'm sure someone will look it up because that's how everyone is. Hey, can you stop sharing your screen there, Kristoffer, to get us back to? No problem. Just want to get us back. There we go. So this is... No, wait, I think I know what this one is. You know what? I think I know what this one is. Or maybe I don't. But it's from a friend's set. This is from Alex23. He sent us some stickers. Yeah, it's from 2019. I'm going to do a guess here. I'm going to say it's 6x8 studs. I'm totally guessing, but that looks like a 6x8 stud plate to me. Because this is what Richard always does. And it had, this is from like the hamster holiday, I don't know, go-kart holiday business. It's got a hamster on a go-kart. It says HLC, which of course is Heart Lake City. It's got that kind of awesome yellow and pinkish, whatever, swirly pattern sticker. The little dials here. And then I love these blue with the polka dots and the pink flames is awesome. Very cool. So there you go. That was my, I don't know. I call it Hamster Holiday. I have no idea what it's actually called. But there you go. All right. Maybe Alex will enlighten us. I know he's here in the chat, so maybe he can tell us what it was. Doc Sampson is here. Hey, how's it going, Doc? Good to see ya. They do kind of look like dragons. Oh, Monica Berry says Amper Up has it set. I'll bet. It looks like it's really good. And it has those hamsters, which I wish I would have had one to use for my Mad Tea Party as the dormouse. I only had it's a little teeny tiny guy. And you can barely see him in the picture, but he's kind of peeking out from behind the March Hare's business on the table there. So, but yeah, that was fun. So golly, well, let's, you see, I do have some viewer mail. And here I'll do Richard's amazing 3D animated brick opening. Okay, this one comes from Oregon, from our friend Brett Hooper. I know Brett has been very excited about us getting this. He's been asking, and we finally were able to get over to the post office. And it came with this awesome note, and it says, Richard and Flynn, one of my favorite things about the AFOL hobby are the times that I get to connect and build memories with my friends. A very difficult part of this year has been the lack of in-person meetings, Lego or otherwise. One of my favorite parts of attending conventions and events are the brick badges. Every one that I have is linked to a specific memory. I cherish each one. It is rough that we have not been able to connect in person as we would have liked this year. I am sending you this brick to bring a smile and to say I'm grateful that we are friends. You can always talk Lego to me, Brett Hooper. And he sent us to talk Lego to me. These are awesome. Thank you, Brett, so much. Thank you. I really just, that's so touching. And, I will absolutely talk Lego to you anytime. Just all right, so that was lovely. Thank you so much, Brett. And I have another one here from Will Lechtworth, who is awesome and works at the Lego store in San Francisco, actually, Kristoffer. Will is a regular viewer. He says, hi, Flynn and Richard. I was watching your YouTube stream showcasing everybody's 16 by 16 Halloween entries. You mentioned you liked the spider web pieces on a build. I just so happen to have some different variations I'd like to give to you. The 3 cobwebs are from the Spider-Man Mech vs. Venom, number 76115, and the translucent web pieces from Spider-Man Far From Home minifig pack. I hope you guys enjoy using them for your awesome spooky builds. Sincerely, Will Lechtworth. That's so awesome. Thanks, Will.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Whoops. Wait, I'm not. There you go. I knew the camera was somewhere. Very cool. So there's a big one and a small one. And this.
Oh,
love
cool.
that one.
Yeah.
And then here's the sort of transparent disc spider thing.
Cool.
You know, this looks like it would make a really cool eyeball.
Eyeball. Right.
Yeah, like put some color behind it. I think that would be so awesome.
Like Moto's wolf that he had.
I thank you so much, both of you. That's so sweet. And I know that there's another package coming in the mail from Alex23, so I'm very excited about that as well. I'll have to walk up to the post office this week since Richard's not here and he has the car. He always drives. It's a whole thing. Like, he drives me, we put on the hazmat suits, I go in, I check the mailbox, and then, you know, come back out, like, do the whole thing, spray down. It's very silly. Let's see, where are we going? Oh, okay. So let's talk a little bit. Oh, dang it! You know what? I keep I keep getting ready to move on, and then I remember one more thing. So we do have, not that this is just one more thing. This is an awesome thing. And I want to show y'all, this is from TrickyBricks, made that awesome corgi, the little motorized corgi that we showed the other day on the show for the 2-week build. By the way, the 2-week build is, the votes are up. We picked our favorite 6 entries. They are up on the website, and I'm sure Minifig Chick will drop the link in the chat. I know she already did once already. And I found the prize. It's pretty fun, I gotta say. I'm pretty excited about this. The winner, and you can go vote now, because I'll say by the end of the show who won, all right? The prize is this wonderful Lego Ideas Adventure Time set. It's got fun figures. It's got a lot of and if you're not into Adventure Time and you just want it for a parts pack, it's got amazing pieces, nice printed pieces, and it's got a ton of tiles. That's what's awesome about this set. Tons of tiles. So that is who we'll be taking home. That's the prize you will be taking home. All right. So yeah, don't forget to head up there and vote. I know that there's the link up there from Minifig Chick. But let's see now, Kristoffer. I may ask you to switch over to your screen sharing for a second, but let me see how this all works out once I get the internet up here. Yeah, you want to go ahead and do your can you?
Screen share?
Oh, actually, no. Let's just go. We'll just feature you, Kristoffer. We're gonna see your awesome reactions to his to his puppy video, because whoops, I'm unable to. Whoa, sorry everyone. Little technical difficulty there. You know how it is. I do my best.
It's a process.
It is a process. It's a whole thing. All right, here we go. Here is Debo's video with reactions by Kristoffer.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Oh, it's motorized. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. That's so awesome. Look at him. He's dancing. That is too funny. That's awesome. So is this going up on
I should. Oh no!
Oh shoot! Oh, that's so crazy. Now he's wagging his tail too. Oh my gosh! Now he just needs a leash.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
That was the music. The music was killing me.
I'll have to go back and watch it because I couldn't hear the audio, but yeah.
That was amazing. Now I know, you know what I call, he says he doesn't know what kind of dog it is. I called it a corgi because somebody called it a corgi on the show the other day, and just because they're so cute. And then when I went to go put up the thing, I couldn't remember what he named it. It's Pup-E.
Okay,
Pup-E.
gotcha.
But I called it Action Corgi because I couldn't think of anything else. I was like, what is a corgi and it moves? So is an Action Corgi. So there you go.
That's awesome.
There's that's fantastic. Debo, that was hilarious. That's amazing. So yes, so go. There's including Action Corgi. There's also 5 other amazing entries. Ms. Slowbrickta's Home one is really amazing. I'm trying to remember who else. There's Rob Zaccardi's TrickyBricks Clubhouse.
The logo,
yeah. Yeah, there was the no, that was a different one. That is
that's another one.
That's Patrick Wismer's TrickyLUG tribute. There was 2 different ones with like TrickyLUG tributes, which was awesome. There is the anglerfish, that amazing angler fish as well, and now I want to say, was there one more? Oh no, I hope I didn't.
I think there was 5, right?
There's a whoa, hi.
More?
There's 6 total. Now I have to go look. Sorry about that. I gotta see if I can take a look at that. Because that's silly that I don't remember. I'll go here. Look, I can even do this. Yeah, so there's the anglerfish by Legodor.
Oh, the airship by Coronado.
Yeah. The airship. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Cornado's airship. Sorry about that. I just, I have so many things going in my head at once. And then, there's Cornado's airship, and then the TrickyLUG one, and then Ms. Slowbrickta's Home, which was amazing. And if you saw it on the show, it actually had, like, the house doesn't have a back, but it's all decorated inside. And if you go inside the bathroom, you can look out the window and see that landscape out the window. It's like her view out her actual bathroom window. It was amazing. So yes, if you're just joining us, somebody said if you're just joining us, rewind it so you can watch the Pup-E video. It was pretty great. All right. So don't forget to vote. Minifig Chick, if you could do me a favor and just drop that link a few more times in the chat over the course of the show, just so that people can go and vote for the winner of that Adventure Time set, and for all of our new people. Poor Kristoffer, I'm making him sit through all the boring business parts. You're totally Richard today, so
yeah. I don't know if I should talk more or
you can. So we are giving away this Monkey Kid, Monkey King Warrior set when we hit 2,000 subscribers, and we are so close. We're only, we're not far at all. I know that. I can't remember exactly how many, like 80 people or something, maybe. No, maybe 90 people, something away. But it's very, very exciting. So, Debo, the Pup-E video is up on his channel, and maybe Minifig Chick, the Queen of Links, I'm really putting her through it today, can go and post that link in the chat, or Actually, Debo, if you want to send that link to Minifig Chick, she can post it for you. Um, all right, exciting. So, Kristoffer, let's talk
Yeah.
about you. It's time to talk about you. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Do you want me to? I can bring up. I've got a couple of photos too, so let me share
Absolutely. Why don't you?
those.
Why don't we start your show?
Can you see my screen now?
We sure can.
Okay. So let's see. I had some photos of my childhood that my mom forwarded on to me recently. So I got into Legos at an early age. My parents are European, so we'd go back to Europe every summer. And if you kind of look on the car on the right hand side, there's a British flag there because I was born in England, but my parents came to the States and I grew up here. So sorry, I don't have an accent. But my parents, of course, we went to Germany. My dad lived on the border of Denmark, up in the northern part of Germany. And so when we go up there, I think I was 7 years old or something was the first time. And my parents took me to Legoland, and they had never taken me to like Disney World or anything else. And I went to this place and I just thought it was the most incredible place in the world, so. And I got to go to Disney World later, but Legoland had always been like a place in my heart. And some of these other pictures are friends of mine and family members. And every time I go to Germany, like everybody there had so many Legos. Like in the States, it was kind of hard to find them back in, kind of the 80s. Like they were in a couple of stores and, Toys R Us, but it wasn't, my parents would buy me like a set a year or something, I'd get maybe something for Christmas. So I'd go to Germany and they would have tons of train sets and cityscapes and everything. And it just blew my mind. And so the photo, in the bottom is me and my sister, my mom, when I was a little baby. And, they bought me my first Duplo set. It kind of looks like an ad. The other one, the guy above in the middle, was actually my best man at my first wedding.
That's so awesome.
We're still friends to this day. He's in Munich, and then my sister and my cousin up in the upper left. And then the image on the left there was my first time in Legoland, or actually it must have been later because it says age 11 there. So, and you had to use 25 bricks or less, and you had to build something. So I did. It was either the German eagle or I don't know, a penguin or something. I had I guess that's my first MOC that I ever created.
That is so awesome.
So that's a little bit about me. And then I'm an architect by trade. So
Wow.
This was a project I worked on in Puerto Rico back in 2015. It was a private residence. And then that led me to the job that I'm working on today. And the reason why I'm relocating to Puerto Rico is to work on this house for a client. And so I'm going to be down there. I'm actually packing up the house. I'm here for like 25 more days, and then I'm out of Oakland and off to the islands in the Caribbean. So I'll be working on this house down there, amongst other projects. But I also do resorts as well. So that was kind of what I got into.
Wow.
Architecture, I had a really good parallel correlation with Lego. I loved it. When I would go to Europe, one of my uncles had built his own house, and he was an architectural engineer.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought this is the best thing, and what they're the biggest bricks you can build with. And
Right.
so that was a resort. This was a resort in Cabo that I worked on and was built. I think back in 2009, so right after the economic downturn. And then this was a competition in Cabo as well. It was for 4 seasons. It never got built. But this is the kind of stuff I do daily. So I'm in the computer, I'm doing 3D modeling and things like that. So it kind of led a little bit to the studio stuff. So so that's a little of my background. So kind of for those that that haven't used Bricklink and of course Studio, you can download it. It's a free program from Bricklink. And I don't know if people are familiar with the Lego digital designer that was out a couple of years ago, and I downloaded that and thought the program was absolutely horrendous. Like it was
It's
so hard to go through. You'd have to like
agreed.
click on an icon and then find something. And I tried it once and I just gave up.
I did I taught a class.
Oh yeah.
I built a model and did a class at a convention at Bricks by the Bay.
Oh
And
cool.
at that point, my only experience was doing it in Lego Digital Designer, and I had to go to an outside program to make the instructions, and
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
nightmare. And it took
I
me like
bet.
3 weeks. It was oh man, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I feel your pain. It was awful.
And it's always like that. There's always a program, I'm sure you're familiar with plenty of other programs used on a daily basis, and then somebody makes something better, and then it's just, it's almost like you can't even remember the past, and you just
Right.
go, this is incredible. So, and what's great about this program is obviously it's connected to Bricklink, so you can build a model and then you can upload it and and then pay for it and have it shipped to you. And I think it also kind of replaced, didn't Lego do kind of like my own creation thing a while back? And then you would they would print the instructions for you and send you like a box of your design.
Really, I
It was
didn't
only
know
out for
that.
like, yeah, it was only out for like a year or two. I never did it. I found it later, like on forums. And they canceled it because it was just prohibitively expensive. So
I'm
they
sure.
got rid of the
Yeah.
program. So.
Oh, Lego Factory, Debo Brick says.
Oh, Lego Factory. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah. And it seemed like a really cool thing, and maybe in the future it'll come back, because
Hmm.
it was kind of a cool, system, so to speak. So you could design your own thing and have it sent to you. So.
Oh, Debo says it's where the modulars began. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, because there was that factory modular, right? It was like the second one ever produced.
Yeah, I've actually been toying with the idea of doing some Lego history shows, like a
Ah,
history of
that would be good.
Fabbyland, a
Yeah,
history of
yeah,
whatever, like different ones.
exactly.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, no. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I found you guys and Tiago, I think just a little bit before you. I had a couple minutes in the morning and I was like, I need a challenge. I need something. When the pandemic hit, I just needed something to focus on to get my mind off of things. And Lego always, for me as an architect, I'm designing all day long. And I like I like the nice, not necessarily the challenge, but I like the niceness of sitting down at the end of the day and like just zoning out, opening up the instruction booklets. I know it's not as much fun as making a mock, but just like looking at it and going, okay, this is the instructions. I'm going to put a couple of pieces together and like that's it.
No,
And
because
so
well, sometimes you don't want to be that focused, right? Like
yeah, no,
sometimes.
you don't. You just need to like unplug and just get out of it. So
Well, that was like after Lego Masters. I mean,
yeah.
I went through like the week where I didn't want to ever see Lego again, and then like, but then after I got over that, I just wanted somebody to tell me what to do to
Let's
make
do.
something.
Exactly. Yeah.
you know?
It's fun being the boss, but then sometimes it's nice just to like get a command and just do it.
Exactly.
So I turned to this to YouTube and started looking at stuff, as I'm sure all of us did this year. YouTube has exploded, of course.
Yep.
And I found Tiago, and so he did these daily build challenges. And so he would at the beginning, like here's the pieces you need to do your set. So I would pause the screen and I'd go into Studio, because I think the best way to like learn a program really is, well, first keep it simple at the beginning.
Yep.
But also it's like any muscle that you use, from memory, just kind of doing it repeatedly, over and over again. And that just gets you faster and gets you, figuring out where things are and, remembering like, oh, if I need to find this piece, it's here or something like that. And so I, would just kind of challenge myself to like watch his video on like one monitor and then like build, the model as quick as I could on the other side.
Right.
And like I said earlier, yeah, I sent them all to him, and that's how I became friends with him online. And so this was my kind of shot of on the left-hand side where I downloaded all the pieces, I set them up, and then I built his model, on the other side. And it was good because you have to rotate things and manipulate them as
yeah,
well.
and just to be clear, what you're showing us are renders from
Studio. Yeah, this is a
correct?
render from
Okay.
Studio, exactly.
Great.
So, and then I got, this year was the first year I actually went on Instagram for Lego. Like I had my own page and, then I thought, in December, I thought, oh, let me try something new. And, I'll set up an Instagram site that's just, for my Lego creations. And who knows, maybe someone will be interested, maybe not, like, who knows. And so I just started posting some of these things. And of course he saw them too. And he's like, make sure you tag me for them. So I learned my Instagram etiquette.
Yes. Yes.
But after his video was over, there'd be more videos. And on the right here, you can see these were a whole bunch of furniture pieces that he made. And I was interested in what he did. Also in terms of my background of architecture, I love all of the modular buildings. I'd like to create my own one day as well when I've got more free time. But I thought, oh, these are great. Here's some furniture pieces I could always use and like have ideas for later.
Very nice.
Excuse me. And then this led to your show. And I think this was the first one that I submitted, which was my Stonehenge. And part of it was, I had a house in Alameda. I lived there. When I got divorced, I put everything into storage. And so all of my Lego went there, and I had a couple of pieces here so I could build a couple of things. Like I participated in one of your other design challenges. But that also drove me to studio, because then I thought I've got, the world of bricks here, and I can use, a complete palette and design anything. And I don't have to let the Lego, muscle kind of go, so to speak. So and so then, the challenge on the right was kind of the summertime one, I think, that we did.
Yeah, that one. This was one of my favorites that you've done. It was so good. Yeah. Just like all the levels, and it was just, it's magical. It's great.
Sorry about that. Yeah, and I used a lot of Tiago's builds in here because there was things that I had done, and I had seen some other people online that had done these kind of like little corner like studio type things, and they would show a bedroom or something like that, and then populate it with pieces and make like a little diorama out of it. So I wanted to try something similar.
Got it.
And then that kind of led to like trying to figure out other challenges like on my own. So I was on Brickset one day, and Chris McVeigh came out with the what are they called? The sketches.
Sketches, yeah, they're amazing.
And so they would show you parts and pieces of it, not the whole thing. The instructions weren't out. And so I kind of challenged myself to look at these images and then, look at the final model and then figure out, what it was, how to build the model myself digitally.
So you reverse engineered it?
Yes, I reverse engineered it. Exactly.
Very nice.
So these were two that I built from there, and of course posted them online and got a lot of reaction from it. And everyone was like, why don't you just use the instructions? I was like, they're not even available. So, I just had to figure it out.
Right.
It was a good challenge. And then that led to one of your other challenges where I did the studio sketches of each of the South Park characters. And this was kind of fun. At first I was only going to do, I think it was Stan. Mm-hmm. And then, realized I was like, I got to do the rest of the gang, and submit them. So this took about a good week. It was like every night after work, I was like just trying to get this done. And I wanted to show this for the process, because in the upper left, it was the actual size of his sketches, which I think are maybe 12 across and 24 studs or something. I can't remember, 18 studs. And then the scale was just too small. So I had to blow that up. So I made Stan, a little bit bigger. It gave a little bit more.
Yeah, I was going to say the smaller one is a little toothy. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So my wife was like, that doesn't look very good. So try it again. So she's been a really good critic on all of these as well. So, and then of course the fun one was doing Kenny like in the bottom corner and trying to figure out like his hoodie kind of coming over.
Right.
Face.
Nicely done.
Cool. And then you had, again, I think art, and especially in architecture, art always imitates, life and you get your ideas and inspiration from others out there in the world. So, Jeff Works had a couple of images on these micro scale buildings.
Yep.
And I thought, that would be a kind of a fun challenge one day. And when you did your Micropolis one, that's where I came up with this. And I had looked at a lot of his imagery and, really kind of I thought it would be a good challenge to kind of, use some of those. Some of them, like the upper left is San Francisco from the model there. So
Yep.
I borrowed that. The bottom right one was like from Tokyo. Some of the other ones were ideas that he had on his, and I, tried to recreate them as best as I could. And then other ones I just kind of had fun and, just came up with my own stuff. So this was the pirate ship battle. This one took a little bit of figuring out, but once I had one boat, I, could. The nice thing with Studio, you build one thing, you can copy it, and then you can like manipulate it really quick.
Yeah.
So what's pretty good with this is you can get, a mock together or a scene together pretty quickly as well, which is nice.
Right, and also there's no mess to put away.
And there's no mess. Exactly. And then that kind of led to the Lego art that came out.
Yep.
And, again, this was the same thing. I'd seen this image, downloaded it off the web. I blew it up pixel by pixel. And then on the left here was my version of that. And the same with the Maryland and everyone else.
This is amazing. I just like the reverse engineering that you did. Like, I know I used to work in graphic design, and we would have to pull in the images like super close until you were just looking at pixels, like giant square.
Exactly.
So it really is, kind of the same thing. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm working on one myself, just a personal project, but I haven't got it. I haven't finished it yet. So there's a lot of unfinished projects.
So actually is the, and I think, are we just about to dive into the program here?
Yeah, I think
perfect. Because let's do one more, and then it's going to be that special time of the day, and then when we come back from that, we'll dive right in. All right, let's take a look at these. Of course,
this has been the recent favorite. Tiago had a short video. I think he did some of the simple bricks of the like 2x3, 2x4. And then, I'd seen some other people had done some things, different scales. My brick build on Instagram, he does it at like a mega scale. So I kind of thought there was this kind of like nice, just, one scale up kind of design. And it kind of led to this, which is really kind of taken off. I've got a lot of really great feedback on Instagram. A lot of people really enjoy this series. So I've stuck with it for a bit. And, it's kind of like let your imagination run wild. So.
They're really fantastic, by the way. Like, I've really been enjoying seeing those. So good.
Yeah. So I'll let you go back. Let me, stop my share, I guess.
Yeah, just for the time being. Okay. And we are going to, it's going to be that special time of the day. It is... Logan! Yay! It's Logan cookie time. Look, he's already eaten the treat off of the table. So I barely have room. There he is. Hey. Oh, Dad's a terrible thrower. I'm so sorry. There he got it though. Come on. Whoa! He just tried to jump on the table, you guys.
He's excited.
Oh my god. That was amazing. I can't believe that just happened. Here you go, buddy. Here.
Oh my gosh. You couldn't plan that one.
Oh my god. Oh wow, that was epic. That was amazing. What a good boy. All right, thank you. That was Logan.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. I almost had like a heart attack. I was just imagining the table collapsing and like all of the things going
and the computer's like down on the ground.
Yes, exactly. And you'll see that I'm wearing sweatpants.
And broadcast.
I know it is. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that was something else. All right. So now we are going to dive into the program and see what that is all about. So let's go ahead and make this nice and big. There we go. All right, Kristoffer, it's all you.
It's all me. Okay, so let the fun begin. let me see. I'm having a little issue with my, here it is. Actually, let me pull this off to the side here. Okay, so this is Studio. Of course, you have a blank canvas. You have a million bricks at your disposal, whatever you feel like. A little bit of orientation. I'll kind of go through a couple things at the top. My first most important thing, and the thing I forget all the time, you start a new file, save it like straight away, because you know, half the time I build all these different models. I have so many screens open, and then I close them out afterwards, and it goes, "Do you want to save this?" And I often go, "Oh no, I think I've got that saved," and you lose stuff all the time, especially like at the end.
Oh, and sorry, by the way, real quick, Doc Sampson in the chat was asking, is this a free program? Yes, it is a free program that you can download from Bricklink. So there you go.
If you just Google Studio, STUD, and then .io. So IO is their file type. Not exactly sure what it stands for, but it's, you know, their kind of, you know, executable, you know, file type or whatever.
There we go. Minifig Chick dropped the link in the chat.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you. So first things, you know, I always try to make sure I save something, you know, open files, all that stuff. I've got a folder that I keep my models in as a primary, and then my renderings I keep in like a secondary file. Then those that I've uploaded to Instagram, then I save them again, so that I kind of keep it a little clear of where I am. On just kind of my workflow, I guess. In here, you can also, another interesting thing is import models. So here you can actually import, you can design another model and import it into this model. So if you're building like a large set, it kind of helps to break things down. So if you want to make a big scene, but you don't necessarily want everything in one file, you can import files into other files, which is super helpful when you get massive things. And then the other thing, what I wanted to show real quick, and let me see where it is. Oops. Screen is gone. You can import, you know, Lego files. So for instance, and I'm just going to use a Brickheads one real quick here. You know, you can find their numbers on the website. So another really great way, you're just getting started on Bricklink and you want to kind of figure things out, you know, go to Lego. They have the instructions. So you click on building instructions on a set. It'll bring it up on the side, you know, and then over here you can enter in. Oops, is that going to paste? There we go. It'll load it up, and here's Donald Duck, you know, and you can import it. And what it'll do is it'll bring in each of the files.
Wow, I didn't know they could do this.
To the file, right? So it won't build it for you, but it will let you build it, and you can keep the instructions on the side, and you can literally take the pieces and, you know, start to stack them. And it's just a really great way to get started, to learn the program,
wow.
Instructions.
I didn't know about this. I really wish I would have known. I mean, fortunately for me, I have been learning computer programs my whole life. So I'm pretty good. Like, I'm not afraid to get into a new program and just get my hands dirty building something. But I will say that for a lot of people, and to a certain degree for me as well, it's intimidating to be presented with that blank, like little, you know, like gray dots, and like, okay, now what am I supposed to do? But
you have all this palette, and you're like, where do I start with? You know?
Yeah, and I never ever would have thought of this as a way to do that. That's amazing.
Well, I kind of stumbled upon it one day because I was like, I was trying to make a scene, and I wanted a set that was existing, and I just wanted to import it, and I thought it was going to come in built, and I wouldn't have to build anything. And then it might have been like the Ghostbusters headquarters, because I wanted to like create a town layout or something, and it loaded all these pieces in there, and I'm like, oh, I have to build it too? Like, oh my God. But it's good for, you know, the use of, you know, wanting to like put the pieces together and learn how to build something. So anyways, that's a good kind of little trick right there. And again, that's under import. And then you can import a model, you can import an official Lego set. There's some other things in here I haven't messed with. They've added a mosaic feature and 3D model. So I guess if you do 3D modeling with other software, you can import that. I'm not exactly sure how this one works. I did try a website that I imported like a cat because I wanted to build a model of a cat, and it took the 3D model and it like Legorized it kind of.
Okay, all right.
It out of blocks. It didn't really turn out so great, you know, to be
So
honest.
you say they have a mosaic feature now. Now I have to check that out.
Do, and I haven't messed with that, but I'm not exactly sure what it loads exactly.
Right.
I guess you load an image and then it'll mosaic it for you, maybe.
Oh, there you go. And I know there's actually I got a message this morning on our YouTube channel from Charisma, who I actually just saw is in the chat right now. And they were asking about Mosaic software, and it sounds like this might actually help out with that. So
yeah, I could look into it a little more and maybe get back to anyone who's interested. The one thing I will have to say, and the reason why I loaded this one particularly, you will see there are some pieces that come up like this one, if you can see on my screen, which just has a question mark on it, right? And the reason for that is it's a piece. Studio doesn't have every single piece. There are limitations. So there are certain times you get to a point and you're like, I want, a dinosaur leg, for instance, and it doesn't exist.
Got it.
They add pieces all the time. They try to keep up with it. But whoever does the modeling in the background, obviously like a dinosaur leg is probably not as important as, minifigure leg or something. So this was a printed piece that was specific.
Yep.
There is a section in here, and I haven't really gotten into it.
For printed pieces?
Yeah, you can design your own pieces. Give me 1 second. Here, Part Designer. So it's under Tools at the top. And it's a whole nother program. And if you're good at graphic arts, you can get a regular like minifigure, like torso, go in there and then design whatever you want on it. Like you can put your TrickyLUG, logo on it,
right,
and bring it back into Studio to render it.
Oh, how fun! That's super cool.
So
now I'm gonna guess that part of the reason they don't have that particular printed piece is because it's an IP piece. It's Donald Duck's like signature like front piece. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, exactly. Because they did have. What's the other piece? They've got the eyes, they're printed. They've got his little, pants or something.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Cool. That is great. Well, I already just learned so much. All right. Perfect.
Yeah. The next one, up here, model gives you kind of like add steps, model info. There's some things that pop up here. Like if you select some pieces, you can hide them if you want to. And things like that. Though a lot of, every program has multiple ways to do it. You can do it through a menu system. You can do it through icons. You can click on a piece and then right click if you're on a PC. I think on a Mac is commands.
Yeah,
I haven't used Mac in a while, so.
Yeah.
So there's always multiple ways to do things, to skin the cat, so to speak, right? So, don't always just say that this is the one way to do things at all on here, so. I use view a little bit when I'm going through like orientation. So if you want something that's more orthogonal, straight up and down. So if you're doing like a top-down view for your final render, that comes in handy. Or, perspective. For me, I always like working in perspective. Some people hate it,
And sorry, which part of this? So this is the view menu?
This is under the view menu.
Okay.
You can hit zoom to fit. This is just got things for your screen and your orientation. So you've got, perspective, front, back, left side. So if you're trying to render a model in a certain way, and you want to see it like straight on, you can set it up that way.
Well, it also helps when you're modeling too, because sometimes what I've noticed is that so I saw you sort of like moving it around in 3D space, which you can do with a key command.
Okay.
And also just by clicking and dragging. But the thing is it is sometimes it can be a little bit loosey-goosey and you can't get it exactly at that right angle that you need it to be in. And that view menu will really help with that.
Yeah, especially when you go upside down, it gets really wonky.
It really does.
Like if you're building like a space model and it's got a top and a bottom, and you flip it upside down and you start moving the mouse, it's like, whole other things. So yeah, so that's most of that. You can also, and some people find this useful as well. It's depends on your workflow. But if you want to set like one viewport up and you want to do like a top down, so you can like see your pieces, and when you drag that piece, it moves it on the other viewport too.
Oh, very
And
nice.
that helps sometimes visually with people. Like you want to keep one where you see your entire palette, but then over here you want to zoom in and you want to be able to like focus on these pieces, and you're like, oh wait, what about this guy? Let me drag him over here. So I did it on the right hand side, it moves it on the left hand side. If you have multiple monitors, that can help.
Right.
So it's just kind of a matter of preference. So
cool.
I think that's pretty much it there. There's some other little things in here. Tool has instruction maker. Again, that's up here in the instruction button, and
we'll
the part designer.
And we'll be
for
looking
those
at
that want to get into it.
Sorry. No, I was just letting people know we are going to be getting to the instruction maker. Like we're going to touch on that a little bit towards the end. Just letting people know.
Yep. And then Bricklink, you can upload to Bricklink and Studio. Studio, I think, is if you make your own mock, you can put it on there, and then I don't know if you market it on there necessarily. I haven't really gone into it too much, but I accidentally uploaded one to Studio that was an actual Lego one before. So it was like, oh, it goes private before it goes public, but you can make it public and I guess share with the community and stuff like that. So the next like level down here, so there's some icons at the top. One is to like select an object. So basically, as I've been doing, let me close this other viewport real quick. Delete viewport, there we go. If you select an object, you just left click on it and you drag it to basically move it to where you want. But when you click the first time, like you kind of drag on it for a bit, but once you can move it around, you don't have to hold down the mouse button. And then when you click again, it sets that piece there,
So click once to pick up and then click again to drop.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, so if you click on an item, it selects the item. When you drag with that finger depressed on the left mouse button,
Okay.
But it won't let go of it. You can take your finger off the mouse, and then once you click again, it'll stay. So it's a little getting used to, but not so bad. So it's kind of nice, like right now I don't have my finger on the mouse,
right,
or on the button, so to speak, but then you can put it down again. The hinge button, I don't have any hinge elements here, but you can click on the item, you can rotate something, you can actually type in an actual degree. So if you want it 90 degrees or 35 degrees or whatever you want. Clone is kind of a nice one. So if you click on that and you click an item, you can copy it and make another one. And it'll just keep replicating it, over and over and over again until you hit like escape to get out of that, basically. So
which is great if you're doing any kind of repetitive architectural features.
Or if you're doing like Tiago's build challenge and he has a bunch of them and you don't want to go find all the pieces, you just find one of them and then you can clone it a bunch of times.
You're right.
So, and then the hide feature, this one's actually really cool. So if you have, let's say you have a model, but you want to get to see like what's below here, you can click on an item and hide it, and it disappears. And for the longest time, and again, all the features, once you're in that feature, it doesn't go off until you hit escape on a Mac at least. So, if I click on another item, it just starts disappearing. So once you've canceled out, it's out. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out how do I get those pieces back. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see there's like a little eye with a line through it. And when you click on those items, excuse me, they will start to reappear again. So you can do each one individually. I don't think there's like an unhide all button. So it's
Actually, it's in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It says show all. Upper right-hand corner of the window, of the viewport window. Right there.
Oh, here, show all.
Yep.
There you go. Look at that. Awesome. See,
we all learned something. Yeah, say we're all learning today.
Awesome there. Connect is like a cool feature too. So this one, if you click on, let's say you want this item here and you want, or actually let's click on this one. You can click on an item. I don't know if everyone can see this. Let me try to zoom in a little closer. Click connect. You can select the part of the stud that is going to connect to the other stud, if that makes sense. So
Oh.
if I click on this item, I can click on the top of the stud, and then I can click on this guy, and it attached it basically to the bottom, right? So it perfectly like aligned those two items. It stuck them one on top of the other, and they're good. You can obviously do this by just moving an item around, but as you notice, sometimes it goes up, it goes down.
Yes, that drives me crazy.
Super frustrating sometimes.
Well, but then now, by extension, will that allow me then to say, like, I want it to connect in the tube rather than the space between the tube? Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah. So
like, it would allow me to connect it here rather than in the actual hole. Right?
Yeah. So I think if you had like a bar and you had like you're talking about like a cylinder.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or just like on a with this you can either connect in the tube or you can connect in the space outside the tube. So
yeah,
just being
see,
able
like,
to, yeah.
See how this is like completely like you can put it wherever you want, and it's not really like attaching to anything. So I think let's just check. If you want to connect this item to here, you can actually select like I want it, at the top or.
Whoa! I didn't know you could do that. That's awesome.
Connect.
So you can pretty much like tell it exactly where.
Oh, hang on a second. It does work. I'm having trouble. Oh,
that's all right.
Anyways, you can fiddle around with it, but you can be a little bit more precise and say, I want it exactly here, which is nice. Snap is also a great tool. If you turn it off, it kind of, it makes it, you can put an object anywhere you want to, which is nice. Mm-hmm. It doesn't like adhere to another stud. It doesn't, it will be a little bit more random in space. So you can kind of mess around with it a little bit more and then move it. But when you turn snap on, which is a default, the pieces do snap to each other, which is, a kind of a nice feature to have. So
yeah.
I haven't really used grid much, and I was playing around with it last night. Didn't really seem to do much for me, so I don't know if anyone knows anything about grid. But that's kind of up to you. Again, these are more graphical interfaces. Right. Render is obviously what I use it to render. It takes a while. The higher the pixels, it'll take forever. You can render short little animation videos. So like I did one. With all like the pieces, and it's kind of cool. You'll see people have them on Instagram. It'll be like pieces falling and your model will build itself up. They take hours to render. Yes. If you have a complex model, it could be like a day of rendering. So you're in for a long wait on some of those things.
Well, now I will say though, one of the things that I learned when I was using it for the first time was that you can do like if you just want to like make sure it's looks like the way you think it's gonna look. You can do a low-end one, like a sort of low-res one first that doesn't take as long before you go through the trouble of waiting 7 hours and you were like, oh, the camera was like 3 degrees off from where I needed it to be. And So.
And it'll show you like a little preview of it and it'll start rendering all the pixels. So what's nice is I just do the lowest setting the first time and then just see if it looks right and kind of close. And then, that'll take like 6 minutes or something.
Right.
So it's not that long of a time. Stability, you can totally, see if your pieces, you can turn this mode on if you've built a complex model. It'll tell you if the pieces are well put together. It has a kind of a heat map of pieces that are done well and pieces that, are probably, very loosely secured. And I found a lot of models that I have downloaded from the web or like, some of these ones that they've done their own creations and you buy all the pieces and you put it together. It doesn't sometimes always like there's some like not perfect methods here which things are attached cheating so to speak so that'll definitely let you know.
So Apple's is saying there's a great function, I just forgot the name, it's something like connects with or is compatible with. So says when you select a piece it shows you everything it can connect to, like the different ball joint connections. That's kind of awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Do you know where that is? Is that under?
Yeah, I wonder where that is. That sounds really cool, though.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right.
All right. Anyways. And then, of course, Instruction Maker, which I'm sure everyone wants to see as well. So I'll get into that a little bit later. And there's this new mosaic feature. So I think, and that just came in recently, probably with all the Lego art that came up. And,
Yep.
and
Yep.
so, okay, so oops, let me get into the left-hand side then of the screen. So when you are, on a new
Oh,
model,
Brickworm says bottom bar of the screen in blue is where that connects to thing is.
let's go. So like if you have an item,
Yeah, maybe look on the bottom right-hand corner, maybe in there somewhere.
find compatible bricks.
There you go. Find compatible brick.
Oh, find compatible bricks. Okay.
Very cool. So you can choose a piece and it'll show you all the things that can connect to it. I love that.
Okay, cool. See, I learn something new all the time.
This is why I love our community. Like we just, like everybody, little bits of knowledge, and it makes it all nice and well-rounded. All right.
Exactly. So on the left-hand side here, just a kind of quick overview. There's a new parts section. This shows the newest parts in the latest release. So, recently they did a minifig crown head. There's a bunch of new printed tiles, that may be from the latest season of something or something that's been updated or something that was never built before. So they've added things all the time. So you can go there quick if you want to see something that's new. You can create your own palette of pieces. So if there's I use, 1x2s all the time, I use whatever, you can save them in there. You can also save sets in there too. So for a while in here, I'd opened up a set and I saved it in there. So if you want to use those pieces, you're like, I love this set and I want to build a mock, with those pieces. You can save that set in here. And what's kind of cool is, it'll only on your left-hand tab show those pieces. So if you have, let me see if I can do real quick, add palette. Hang on a second.
Right, I found this feature very helpful when I was doing a piece because you don't want to have to. Well, so if you don't mind if I mention this just as a precursor, is that so in this program to search for a part. There's a little search window right there.
Let me close my blinds real quick.
Sure. There's a little search window in there, and then you type in the name of the brick that you're looking for, right?
Yes. So 1x2 or 1x3.
Right, and if you don't want to have to go type in 1x2 brick a gazillion times while you're building a model, making your own palette where you have that brick saved. Let's say you need you're going to use 100 1x2 tan bricks, but not all at the same time. You don't want to have to go back and type that in every time. Make your own palette, and then you have that brick there, which is awesome. And it also makes the catalog, I think, a little less intimidating. Although, you have to be very careful that when you start searching for bricks, that you're not that you're not on your own palette, or else you're like, I know this.
You're like, exists. I know there's a 1x3, or something, and I can't find it, So yeah, you have to switch back to the master. I can't remember how I added it now off the top of my head. So not to belabor the point, but when you did one of your build challenges with the street sweeper, I loaded that in here, and then it just gave me all the pieces of that. I didn't have anything else. So for the challenge, I could build in here with just those pieces and reconfigure them and do whatever I wanted to. And it didn't bring anything else in, which is really nice. So quickly on the left, there's shapes and there's Bricklink categories. So, Bricklink does it by their own system and method. Shapes is kind of a little bit more of the Lego basics. The bricks kind of show up first, and then it kind of goes from there. What you can do, you can search for each individual category. So if you're looking for plates, you click on that, you bring up all the plates. And then if you want to get more specific, you can hone it down and, say 2x8 or something like that. And hopefully it switched out of it, of course. So you'd have to type in plate again. And then you will get that plate, which is nice. So it's a quick way, when you're, I need a 4x12, there's the brick 4x12. And then if you go a little further down, there should be the plate 4x12 right here. Or you can start typing in plate, and that'll hone it in. Of course, as you said, this narrows down the category so you don't see anything else.
Right.
And then sometimes you go, well, where's all my other pieces? If you just X out of that, it'll bring everything back. Um, the interesting thing, and this is part of that whole muscle memory, just kind of remembering where things are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll type in plate, I'll find all the plates. You know, slopes is a good one. So also knowing kind of how they determine certain things, like there's slopes that are just, you know, flat, you know, basically wedge shapes, right? But if you want the slopes that are curved, that give you kind of more of the curve feature to them, you know, you have to type in the extra word. Otherwise, you can scroll through the whole thing forever. So there's little kind of nuances like that that you'll pick up over time.
Well, I think now I am, if I remember correctly, I think what you were showing before about the categories. I think if you kind
Yeah,
of work backwards, so if you type in 1 by 2 in the
yeah,
window, then it gives you all of, and then if you type in 1 by 2 plate,
yeah.
those will change again. And then if you go up into those categories, from there it'll say like modified or curved or whatever, and you can
Yeah,
choose
it
one of
does
those,
hone it down.
and then it will help. Yeah, it will help narrow down to relieve, because yeah, man, you can scroll and scroll and
Oh,
scroll on some of
yeah,
these
you can do
things.
exactly. And sometimes I've noticed like I'll misspell something, like I'll be typing fast, and instead of typing in plate, I typed in, you know, pate, P-I-T-E or whatever, you know, or something, and
Yes.
you
Oh,
can't
and
find it. So it's very specific sometimes.
something else I would mention about choosing parts for your models, especially if you're building a mock on here, is that this program has all of the kinds of parts, including old vintage parts. And if you are going to be then uploading this onto Bricklink to find parts for it, you can find that you've accidentally used like a 1 by 2 chrome electrical plate that, because you weren't paying attention, and I wasn't paying attention to the names,
Oh, yeah.
and you couldn't tell in the model that it was the wrong piece. But then when I went to put it on Bricklink, I was like, why is this a $300 model? And it was because I had some weird piece. And one of the places where I've seen that the most prevalent is with tiles, because the newer tiles have a groove on the bottom that allows you to like get a fingernail or a brick separator under there and pop the tile off. Older tiles
Exactly.
did not have grooves, and they are listed separately in the catalog with and without grooves. So make sure
Yeah.
that you're looking at that stuff while you're, or you can find yourself in a situation.
Yeah, and it's true, and it's interesting. They update this all the time too, and it gets frustrating sometimes because initially the last piece was the current piece, and the first one was the historic piece. And now
Right.
they've changed it, so now the first piece is the new piece because it's the first one everyone clicks on, and the last piece is the more historic one. So they will change it from time to time, which also, and I've even gone into models, and I'll show you guys real quick. So when I was doing like Stan, you know, and I was trying to figure him out, you'll see here, like these are now watermelon wedges, and they weren't watermelon wedges when I selected them. And so they updated something, and it changed my entire model. So I was like, oh my gosh, you know,
Whoa.
when I updated. So there are little glitches from time to time, you know, that will happen. For the most part, everything else stayed the same. But, you know, like here, his whole hand became watermelon wedges, you know. So I was like, that's not how I designed it, but just be wary. That's all. But you can click on the item, and if you notice on the bottom left-hand corner, so you'll see 3070B. So B, of course, being the later model. The first one now is an A. So you know those were probably they ended at a certain point, and they'll even give you the price down at the bottom. So it'll say 35 cents, and you know the other one's 9 cents or point no 0.09 or something. So they're super cheap, you know. So you know you don't want to buy the 35 cent tile, you know, that's out of stock and hard to find. So good point. The other thing I wanted to show real quick in here too. So if you do like 1 by 2 modified, right? So modified will bring up the bricks. You know, if you want modified plates, you just type in plate afterwards as well. You can, you know, sometimes you go through here and it's, sorry, it's a little small here, but you'll see a piece, you know, such as 1 by 2 with 2 studs on the side, 1 by 2 with 2 studs on the side, but it also has 2 studs on the other side. This one
Right.
doesn't have 2 studs on the other side. You know, you can, within the palette on the left, you can actually right click and drag around. So before you select an item, you can just kind of check it if it's not exactly what you're looking for, because they give it in a axonometric view, but it doesn't always show the backside or something.
And there's
It'll say it at the bottom, but if you don't catch it sometimes and you're like, oh, I don't know which piece I'm dragging.
and it's really easy in the program though to turn a brick 90 degrees in a direction.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just by using the arrow keys, if I remember correctly, right? You can just
Yeah,
go.
so kind of getting a little bit more into the design. So once you select a piece, you bring it in, and it's set at a certain orientation, kind of to the viewer. If you want to turn it, you just hit the arrow keys left and right, and it'll spin it around exactly 90 degrees. If you wanted to, again, here's where that kind of hinge idea comes into. Oops, let me move over here. And I'm moving around on the screen, so I hit the space bar to like move the screen, and I use my mouse to like move an object, right? So if I'm on that object, I can rotate this thing around in different directions, different degree. But you can also, if you're like, okay, I want this to be exactly 90, you can type in 90 on there, and it'll rotate. Oops, sorry. Yeah, a little too zoomed in. It'll rotate exactly 90. So it'll give you kind of that option, if you had it there and then you want to rotate it another, 90 degrees. And if it's not the right way, go negative 90 and now you flip the other way.
Also, I wanted to mention real quick to everybody. So you will not find what you're looking for if you type in snot brick. So that's what. So we were talking about brick modified. When you're looking for specifically for snot pieces or like jumper plates, things that are like a little off, those are almost always called modified. Brick modified with blah 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 blah. So if you're looking for stuff like that, that's what you'll look for in the like. So you could literally type in 1x2 brick, then go up to those categories in the menu above it and click on modified, and it would give you all of the modified bricks, 1x2 bricks that you could then go through and look for the one you needed.
And if you want to really quick, you can just type in modify and it'll bring up, and I just type in mod, because it goes on the spelling of a word. So if you start typing in like PLA, it finds, or it should find plates. I guess not. It's down a little further.
Right.
But modify MOD for some reason is a great one because there's so many modified bricks that you want to use. You put that in, then start typing in plates, and then it'll narrow it down. I do a lot of typing because I find it faster than looking for each individual category for me. But everyone, to each their own, right? So. And I can share real quick. So here's like, a modified plate, and here's one with a clip. And again, so you can just move this into place. It snaps into place. It's exactly where you want it, 90 degrees. But now, you say, okay, I've got these two pieces and I'd like for them, to sit on top of here. And then I'd really like for this thing to be, rotated 45 degrees or something. So you can click on an object, click on the little kind of wrench key there, or you can click hinge at the top. Again, another option. When you click on that, it gives you two different options. So you can move the hinge, this way for the clip part, or you can move, because the other one is rounded and it doesn't interfere with the studs, you can move this one around. So now I can literally take that and drag him 45 degrees.
That's
or
so
again,
cool.
I can click on this, type in here and say, 90 degrees, or, I guess it's not going to do 180, but like 135 or something. So now it's 45 degrees the other way. So it definitely helps you, learn geometries, learn all the piece and part names and things like that. And it moves everything that's attached to that one piece, which is also nice. So it kind of quickly allows you to kind of build upon something. Another feature that I find super helpful too is if you do have a very complex shape and you're going to, let's say, repeat it a bunch, I click and I hit control with my pinky. So I'm usually like a keyboard left hand, mouse right hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're the other way around, it also works well. You click on both items, right click, and you go down here to submodel, and you can create a submodel. So in SketchUp, which I use a lot for daily businesses, we create groups of items. And what's nice about a group, you can label it if you want to. I just do submodel group. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. But if you're getting into a complex model, it's always good to name things. But now, I can copy this thing a bunch of times, and the entire thing and all the pieces connected to it. Here, it's a very simple example, but if you have a very complex, like you build like maybe not an ear, because that might be, you want a mirror image of it. It kind of gets tough. You have to kind of rebuild it the opposite way. But, you're building, I don't know, like turrets in a castle, and you want a bunch of them. So you build one, and then you copy it along.
Yep.
The nice thing is when you want to edit it, you can quickly edit all of them and change them all, or you can edit one, as well. So you can right click on that one and you can say unlink. And when it unlinks it, it's still a piece. It's one part now fused together. But this one, if I alter this one on its own and I just double clicked on it, I can alter this guy up a little bit. But as you notice, when I double click out, all the other ones stay the same. If I do this one, it says all linked models will change with it, right? So now when I move this, you can kind of ghosted see in here.
Oh, so it moved all of them.
Moved all of them.
And
so it's a blessing and a curse, right? You gotta be careful.
That's crazy. I just thought that. Like, you really are the Richard today. I was literally those exact words in my head. It's a blessing and a curse, right? Because I've definitely done that and been like, oh, you know what? I just want to change this one, forgotten to unlink it, and then I changed back and they're all, I was like, no! But
I do that. Yeah. I do that in my workflow all the time. Like I'll make a window and I'll copy it across a building, and then I want to modify one, and I'm like, did I use this a bunch of other times? And the nice thing is it gives you the warning, so it tells you you're going to change them all. So before you do so. And then you can also, once you're like, okay, this is I don't need this linked together anymore, you can hit release, and then it separates. It separates the two pieces. So
got it.
They're no longer fused. All the other ones still remain together. So that's totally
So linking things together is important. That's definitely a good tip for a beginner for sure. Just like grouping things together.
It saves a lot of time in workflow. It's really great to. So we didn't go into it right here, but if you're building something and then you're flipping it up, and you've got a lot of pieces attached to it, it gets hard to move a couple pieces. So sometimes I'll make something flat because it's just easy to build, vertically, because you can move your screen, you're in 3D space, right? So you can move your screen however you want, and you build it flat against, as if it was on a table, and then I link all the pieces together, and then I lift it up. And then if I want a copy of it, I can make a copy, or at that point I can unlink them. There's no, you're not stuck with it being linked together forever. So, which is cool.
Okay. Oh, so there's a question from the chat, and I don't know if you're ready to get to this part yet, but David Wilkie's asking, once you place a brick, can you go back and change the color?
Yes, absolutely. And I was just going to jump into colors real quick. So
perfect.
I'm going to go on the left-hand side here again. So I haven't even gotten to the right-hand side. There's a couple of things there too, but on the left, so I did 1x2 brick, and you can notice there's ones with prints on them, right? So this is where you see a ton of stuff. If you're looking for, and it gets to be monotonous sometimes, there's every single printed brick. There's a little icon to the right that says decorated bricks on off. You click that, everything that has a print on it disappears from the menu. So you can just simply see the basic bricks that don't have prints all over them, which is helpful. So I'll notice this on a 1x1. If I just want that one piece, it's great. If I turn this thing on, there's everything with a number and a letter, and you're going through it forever,
Yeah.
So that's sometimes helpful for people. Colors, you have every single color imaginable in here, which is awesome. Again, another one of these blessing and a curses, because you can do anything you want. I've had so many people, just recently I did that big brick separator on my Instagram site, and someone's like, oh, they have it in coral? I don't have a coral brick separator. And I'm like, no, it's not actually, it's a render. And because they thought I had painted it, which I hadn't.
And I will say, some people are very, very touchy about things like that, exactly. Right? There is definitely a kind of, there is, much like the glue thing, there are two definite camps of, I see a lot of online building challenges and contests where digital designs are not allowed. It has to be built in bricks. And then I've seen other ones where you can do, you're allowed, but you're only allowed to use colors that actually exist. They put those rules on them, but
exactly.
But yeah.
But the nice thing is if you're unsure, so let's say you take a piece and you're like, I'm going to color this thing bright pink or something.
Um,
On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll notice that pink item showed up and it has an exclamation mark next to it. And that exclamation mark means there's an issue. And that issue is that piece does not come in that color.
exactly. I'm glad they show that to you too.
Back to
That's good
like
to
a
know.
red, oh, it doesn't come in red either. So there you go. But it does come in white, so it'll tell you, at the end, you're like, okay, these pieces don't exist. Because when you try to, then order them from Bricklink, it's going to give you an issue, that you can't find those pieces.
Now you can. So I also wanted to say, like you were talking earlier about saving things into a palette. So
Yes.
you can certainly just put the one by one white brick in your palette and then color it later. But also, if I know I'm making an all purple building, I might save a purple one by two in my palette just so I don't have to do that extra couple of
Extra
clicks
time.
to turn
Yeah.
it purple later.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can get into that. What I tend to do is like I'll build, the default is white. On the left here, you can see all the different colors. So black and white is at the top. You can save favorite colors. So if there's ones you use a lot, like I was using a lot of black, gray, red, white, tan for a model. So I saved them in my favorites. You can delete these if you want to remove them. You can add them. But you can, get into the entire color of the rainbow here. So, you click on purple, it'll sort them all by purples. It does, kind of from dark red all the way down through pinks. And some of these overlap. So if you go into the red section, you'll see some pinks in here as well. And it's the exact same color as the purple one, or in the purple category, but it's, just labeled there as well. It'll go into the transparent colors, the chrome colors, the pearl colors, the glitter colors, the rubber colors, glow in the dark ones. So it goes on and on. And you literally have a palette of everything, which is really cool.
But if
and
you
like
are,
I said, it'll tell you if it exists.
Yeah, just bear in mind if you are, if you are building something that you intend on building in real life afterwards, definitely make sure you keep an eye on those exclamation points. It's important because you don't want to get into a situation where you think you've got this great model and then you upload it to Bricklink and you're like, why can't I get this one piece? Oh well, because it doesn't exist.
Exactly. So what I'll do is when I'm building a model, and let's say, I don't know, I'm doing it from instructions because I just want to build something. So I may,
Hang on one second. Sorry, Kristoffer. You're to me anyway. Your audio is like all crazy. Like suddenly you sound like a robot.
Should I put the headphones on?
Yeah, let's see if we can.
Is that better?
No, somehow not. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Okay.
But yeah, it is. But I mean, it's kind of awesome because you sound like a robot. But at the same time, it's a little. Let's see. I don't think it's anything on my end. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and? I know that's annoying, but why don't you go ahead and? Peter Hornberger says try muting and unmuting on Zoom and see if that helps. No.
Okay, let me exit out. I'll come right back.
Okay. Oh, hey, it's two of me. Hi. Oh, let's have like a little break for a second. We'll see what happens. I'm sure he'll be back. Here he comes. I'm sure we'll get this right back going up here in a second. Yeah, nobody needs two of me, believe me. Just believe me. Okay, here we go. There he is.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay! You don't sound.
Do I sound like a robot?
Yeah, you've changed your voice box, so we're all good.
I like the robot one.
Okay.
So let's see. I was on colors. Oh, so what I wanted to talk about on the left-hand side, if you change a color, primary color, let's just pick red or something like that. All the bricks are red. Everything you pick off.
What? I didn't know that.
You red, right? They all come in red. They'll all whatever you're searching for. So you go, now 2 by or say plate modified. Everything's red, right? Your whole entire palette changes. On the right-hand side, so let's say you've colored something white now, and you go over here on the right-hand side, you've got a color palette as well. And there you can say, okay, I want this one item to be bright orange, so you can change that one item. The other cool thing with the stuff on the right-hand side, and I'll bring up my dots one. So when I did the Darth Vader model here, you can see, I copied and pasted each of these dots, right?
Wow.
And then in order to like kind of quickly, like I was looking at the image on the one hand side, and like you can see here, for instance, there's like on the lightsaber, a bunch of white. So you can, gather a bunch together, you can copy these in groups, and paste them around and kind of go down the thing. Or you can also take the paintbrush. So if you can see, my icon became a paintbrush. Now you have to be careful with what you're on. So I'm on white right now. So if I start painting the brushes across, it'll change the color of those things. But you notice it just changed my background too. Like,
right. Because it's very sensitive, right?
So it's very sensitive. It's very powerful, but very sensitive as well. The other nice thing is if you have a model, let's say you loaded all those pieces from something, let's go to...
Ms. Slowbrick, do those look like 1x1 round plates to me, not tiles?
Yeah, these are all 1x1 round plates. So if you're like kind of curious and you're like, what is this color? You can use the eyedropper in the upper right-hand corner, and it'll tell you what the color is. So now it says reddish brown, and then I can use the eyedropper again and click on this one, and it's dark red, because you may not know like what a color is. So if you load one of those pre-existing models into here, and you're like, I'm unsure, is that tan or dark tan? Because sometimes they look pretty similar, and like dark gray is like, does not look like anything in the real world. You can also just click on an item and it'll tell you up here. So you don't need to use the eye picker necessarily, but it's kind of, or the eyedropper, I think. But it's nice to use. So.
Well, and kind of like in tandem with that, I know that there is a tool where you can select just all the white pieces or just all the white 1x1 round plates. There's so if you were working on this model and you were like, you know what, these look great in white, but actually I think they'd look better in X color. Well, you can select all of them, the same piece and part, and change the color on all of them at the same time, which is
interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah. The other thing I did notice when I did this Darth Vader one, there were the little round dot plates or whatever, the tiles, and they showed up with the exclamation mark next to them, but they're legit new colors. For some reason, the program hasn't gotten updated yet. And so there are some that they say they don't exist, but they've been made for the art ones. And actually what I did notice, if you go and you do that import official Lego set and you put that number in, it says it can't find it. So there are sets that have not been updated in here yet. So you have to have some patience on newer stuff. Obviously all the older things are in here, and eventually one day it'll get updated. My guess is if you go to Bricklink, you'll probably find them, but they may be harder to find unless someone sold one of these art things, because they didn't have these pieces before.
Right.
So, because they're always coming up with new colors and everything else. So. I think that kind of goes over most of the colors and everything else, which is kind of cool. So, again, you can choose, your one color and make it. I saved in here a couple of primary colors that I was using a lot. You'll also notice that you'll see like your content will have colors here too. So it'll show, I've used some red. So now I can quickly, that'll pop up automatically once you start putting other colors in. The favorites you have to save, So I think you sit on a color red, you go back in here, or let's do it with a new color, blue. Go back in here, hit the plus sign, it'll add a favorite color. And it'll also be on the right-hand side. So you'll have it either or. So the right is more, select a bunch of pieces. I want them all to be blue,
No, I know a lot of people don't like, like to a lot of people that's tedious, like that kind of stuff. But what I want to tell you is that having those things set up and taking the time to set those things up in the beginning will save you so much time down the road. Like just having those, especially like per project, having that special palette and those special set of bricks that you need and doing things like grouping parts together and copying them and all that stuff like that. It's just it's very advantageous to your workflow, and it's everybody's going to set theirs up differently the way they want it, but
And some people like to punish themselves and find a piece every single time.
Yes, which I did for the longest
I
time
do that all the time
realized,
too.
until I realized you didn't have to, but yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. The palettes are definitely nice.
So a couple of things. Now I know that. Oh, okay, very good.
Well, are we running short on time?
We've probably got about 15 minutes or so left. And I want to make sure that we hit uploading things to Bricklink and the instructions.
And the instructions too. So again, I was telling you guys, I went on here and found Donald Duck on the Lego website. One of the sketches that I didn't reverse engineer was BB-8. He was a little bit hard to figure out. They didn't show a lot of good pictures of it. So I actually did this one last night for the first time. I did find the instructions online and I brought them up. And so basically, let me show you. I brought this guy up. Again, if you're getting into it for the first time, choose a small model. Find something tiny. Go through it step by step. Find the piece. Because that gets you kind of in here. You're okay. I need a 4x12 plate to begin or something. It needs to be white. I select that image. I bring that guy over. I drop him in. The nice thing is, like, you can kind of skip ahead a little bit in the instructions. You know that you need 4 of these, so you can place them down to begin with. I didn't build the base because I'm just rendering this, and I don't need to, show that off to anybody.
Right.
I think some good ones, obviously plates is a good one. Wedges are the, sloped pieces. Wedge plates, you can find these guys pretty quickly, place them on. I've got the wrong one, sorry about that. You can select them then later, change the color, and kind of go through it quickly. Obviously, I already had the color up here because the model exists with some of those parts and pieces. The head is like what I mentioned before about a grouped item. So this is a grouped object. You can take this then and also rotate them around. So if you wanted it to be vertical, if you wanted to have a couple of BB-8's heads, you could do a couple of them. Again, if you edit one, it will edit all of them. So if I change a color here to red, all of them will be red.
Unless you unlink it from the group.
Unless you unlink it, exactly. So I can unlink this one. What are some of the other things I was going to go through? I think just messing around with the different types of things. Finding pieces for the first time is also kind of fun. Like, where is the round tile? There's one that has always eluded me, and it was that tooth that showed up in the South Park character.
Yes.
It's not under tile. It's not under round. It's like a modified plate for some reason or something like that. So there are some bizarre categories for some things that don't quite match up with what you think they would be. So anyways, that is kind of like a quick thing there. Let me go real quick. So I'm going to show instructions on this. So on the right-hand side.
Sorry, I have a question real quick. From Maraid asks, is there a way to take an official Lego set and change the colors? Like making an orange spaceship out of Benny's blue one?
Yes, absolutely. So you can build the model and then you can pick whatever color your heart desires. So you'll see online, there's one guy, Let It Fly Lego. He has taken like the Batmobile or something. He's built it, rendered it, and then he's made a Darth Vader version of it. So he's modeled it in black and red, and then he made a Scooby-Doo version of it, and he did like orange and teal and some other colors. And so you can change anything you want, which is kind of fun, and then make it your own. Add pieces to it if you want. So absolutely. So one thing I didn't go over on the right-hand side are the steps. So when you've been here, you'll notice they all go under step 1. If you were trying to make instructions, and you can do this at the very end, you can be very diligent and do it at the beginning. If you do it at the end, it's a little bit more tedious, like kind of pulling things through. But again, I would get everyone, if you're using Studio for the first time, just have fun with it. Don't think about instructions. Don't try to make your task too difficult. Just have fun, learn it. and then like take on instructions as like a challenge.
100%.
Exactly.
100% agree with that.
It gets very like tedious. So I started doing it the first time, and then I was like, I got bored and I just gave up. So, but you can add steps over here. And when you add steps, each step, if you go to like a Lego instruction, is a step, right? So if you have one piece in that step, you'll have one part that's shown and one piece as the layout. If you have multiple pieces, like you can put as many in there as you want, but you have to remember when you do your instructions at the end, all those pieces are going to show up in that bar. And for some people, it'll get very complicated. You know, if you have a really big model, obviously it takes away, you know, certain steps. And if you're laying out plates, you could put, you know, 10 pieces in there and someone can figure it out. But if you're trying to do instructions for someone else, it does get hard. The other good thing is sometimes to look online. Ben builds Lego, does some really great
He's
ones.
amazing.
Renders these. He makes them, you know, this was like when I was in high school, I did Cliff Notes, and I actually designed, we had to do it as a paper, and I actually designed the Cliff Notes to look like the original Cliff Notes, and I handed it in, and the teacher was like, you can't hand in the Cliff Notes. I was like, no, that was my report on the thing. And they were just so impressed. Like I had drawn the cover and everything else, and they were pretty cool about it. So, you know, he's mimicking the Lego packaging, you know, and he goes through and he makes it simple and basic for people to follow. And you'll notice there's like kind of the red outline. You can turn that on as a feature in your instructions, so you know what those two pieces go to, you know, this part of the design. You can rotate and flip things too. So I'll go real quick with BB-8. So in here, painstakingly on the right-hand side here, you'll see all the steps are listed in each one. And there are some pieces that, again, are official Lego, but I don't know why they didn't show up here. Oh, BB-8's not in the category. That's right.
Well, yeah, sorry. And I just wanted to mention too that's the hard, like, you know, we're talking about instructions, but like the hardest part is if you're building a mock, you're probably not going to be starting at the bottom plate and then building one row and then one row and then one row like Lego instructions. So you really are going to have to, like, it's very difficult when you're doing a mock, and if you are going to do instructions from it, you have to be prepared that you are going to have to go through this process unless you're super diligent, like all the way through.
Yeah, it's better not to like even think about the instructions until the very end, you know, and do it if you're doing it to sell the model or whatever. Again, start basic and get more complex.
Oh, Richard's here.
Hey, Richard.
Yay, Richard.
Yeah, I think my mom might have texted, and she might be on the.
Oh, very good.
Hi, Mom in Florida. So I clicked on the instruction maker. That takes you to this page. It'll show you each of the pieces and kind of the step. It grays them out, the old ones. It'll show the new pieces that were attached, and you can kind of go through. It's more of like an editor verification. It'll show you the pieces at the bottom. If you hover over them, it shows you where they're located, actually on the model. And then, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can get into with this program, but I'll just kind of go over the basics. So this was my rendering. I created a page, you know, of the model. You can add some text. You can always use Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, you know, and create, you know, a whole bunch of stuff and create a new page. You don't even have to put it in here, and then add that to your PDF like at the end when you send that out.
Well, and also too, you're just I mean, like what you're showing us too is just like the tip of the iceberg. Like in this this particular instructions manual, you can do, I mean, you can go to each individual step and change the camera angle or the way that the piece looks in each step. It's pretty amazing.
So this is kind of like the basic. It comes in. Actually, this piece here came in like 100% or something like this, and it was overlapping the piece.
Yeah.
So, you know, I clicked on that. I reduced it to 50% because, you know, you're like, okay, it's just a plate. It's pretty simple. You can see the big image anyways. You can change the layout of this. So if you want to do like 2 instructions per page, you could do that. Like, you know, change the orientation of this somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's
right now, but
yeah, it's crazy customizable.
Exactly. So you can do them side by side, you know, and look at Lego instruction, you know, magazines and look through them and, you know, and see what it is, you know, how they set it up and just mimic what they do.
Right.
The best
And
of
Albert
times.
Lee brings up, you can also do you can also do call outs in the instructions as
Yes.
well.
Yeah,
So
you
you
can do
can do
callouts.
that, like it has everything that you would find in a regular Lego instruction. It's got
Yeah.
the it's got the graphics for the little arrows for you to spin it, like the spin it around, the model around,
Exactly.
all that stuff. So
I'm gonna
yeah.
insert. Let me see if I can insert new page like right here. And then like here, for instance, you can do bill of materials. So here's like all the pieces, right? And it did 3 pages of all the parts, you know?
Yep.
So you
Love
can take
that.
these 3, I can put them, below the actual BB-8 model. So, and you can put your parts pieces at the front, you can put them at the back like Lego does.
And can you show us where
It's
that
kind
bill
of,
of materials thing was? Because I know that's something
yeah,
people
so
really want to
I
know.
I went over here and I inserted a new page actually, just so I had a blank one. And then at the top there's inserts here, and you can insert an image, which is where I got the BB-8 render. So I
Right.
rendered it first. You can insert text, an arrow. You can flip, an object. You can do a size guide, like a one, like when they show like here's the 1-to-1 actual
Yeah.
size, so it'll
Yep.
print
Yep.
it out. You can do a color guide, and then you can do bill of materials. So that will insert all the pieces, and then you can go in here and you can edit this guy and say, this is too big. I want them, oops, 70%,
Yep.
75%, and it'll like you'll notice I had 3 pages. Like here, this was full 100%, but it's huge, right? So I narrowed it down to 75, and it automatically took the parts from page 2 and moved them up to page 1. It just figures it all out for you. It's incredible.
That's awesome.
What they have done. So the other thing I wanted to kind of quickly show too was if you take an object, so like you have this image of your model on one page, it has the guidelines to center it exactly in the center.
Mhm.
You can put it anywhere you want, and you can move it off the screen. When you go to the next page, if you're anal or I don't know a better term for that, but and you're like, I want this image
OCD.
to appear in the exact same location. As you start to move it, it'll ghost in the one from the page before.
Oh, that's new. That's
and
awesome.
It'll place it exactly so like you'll see like it just shows up very gently there, and then it'll
And it clips.
go exactly in the same spot.
Snaps too. Oh, that's awesome.
So it's pretty cool, and then you can do it page by page, move the model, until you get it, and it snaps.
And I just want to say too, I know Kristoffer is making this look easy. Instructions are incredibly difficult, and if you ever wondered why does somebody charge so much for instructions or so much to make instructions, try one on your own and you'll understand why. It is a process with a pretty, I mean, I think it's got kind of a little bit of a steep learning curve in my opinion. But
yeah, so I was going to bring up like one of these guys. Like for instance, I didn't put any of the pieces in here, and a lot of them are grouped. So grouping items also creates a little bit more of a challenge too. So because if I do an instruction for this guy now, you'll notice it'll be like one page because it's all the parts together. So actually, it did separate them out. Oh, interesting. They've fixed that too now. So this actually shows, which is actually kind of cool. So here's like the first part, like the legs, and then it shows here's step 1 because I grouped all those elements as one group.
Right. So when if you have something grouped in your model, it becomes a submodel automatically in your instructions. Cool.
And then you can like for instance, this one's kind of useless. Like there's an axle sitting in the middle of the page. I can delete that, I think. Or at least move it out of the way or something. I can take this model too, and I think rescale him up. Like if you wanted something else to be something there.
Yeah. So I mean,
you can manipulate this so many ways.
It's just infinitely adjustable.
Yeah, I did want to show. Someone mentioned callouts. So let me go back to the BB-8 one real quick, and I added some callouts in that one. So when you get to further down here, I think, and this was a interesting part of the head design. Let's go back. Oh, where is it? Here. So I created a group. I did all these pieces together, these 3 parts, and it created them as an element, and it's used twice. So and they're exactly the same layout. So I flipped one way and flipped it the other way for the other side. And then when it brought it in here, I was able to, I'm trying to remember how I added a call out. I think it might have shown up, but it even brings up like the little arrows. So, you know, I could just manipulate. I think when it came in, the arrow was like this or something.
Right.
There wasn't a second one. So you can add an arrow. There's a lot of things on the right-hand side of things you want to edit. And then you can just drag these things. It's super, I mean, there are some things that they've really made this easy, because if you did this like in InDesign, you'd have to design everything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's ready, like set up for you. So it's a really good thing. And then I guess you probably want Bricklink, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so we've made our mock. All right,
Yes,
we've made our mock. We've slugged through making the instructions, and now I want to make this.
I want to buy it.
I want to buy this. What do I do?
So in the upper right-hand corner, I'm signed into Bricklink already, but you would sign in with your credentials. And you have 3 different options. You can log out. The second one is to purchase, and the third one is to upload to my studio. So that's where you're doing your own designs. You know, you might want to sell them to others or something like that.
It's basically like a marketplace, kind of, right?
Yeah. Oops,
yeah.
Failed. Let's try again. Oh, don't do this to me now. Come on. Oh, and of course it doesn't work. Let's try the clicky family. Let's see if this one works. Oh, I'm getting errors. Let me log out real quick.
Okay.
Sign in.
Oh, you might want to
take this off the screen. It won't go off the screen. I don't think it just does the. There we go. Signed in. Nobody saw anything. Okay, here we go. It works. So you open up Bricklink. You're in your account. You can even you can save an Excel parts list out. So if you made a mock and you're selling your instructions and the part list, you can send that in a CSV Excel file.
CSV, right? Yep.
Someone that they can upload to Bricklink, because they need the parts. You can sell them the PDF, and then they basically can do their own thing. And I think you were asking about it early on. You can sell your mock for $15 or something, because you're not selling them the parts.
Right.
So this comes up and it says create new thing, BB8. It's already here. You say proceed to verify the items. It will go through. It brings up each piece that's in here.
Now, what's great about this, because at first I was like, oh, why are you asking me again about verifying pieces? Now, what I realized the other day when I was doing this, what was helpful about this was I was uploading something that I knew I already had half the pieces for. Yes. So I was able to just go in here and choose the ones I knew that I didn't have to be included in the list.
Yeah, you may have like a ton of these 2x3, yellow bricks, and the bricks are hidden, so they could be red bricks or blue bricks. And so you can change, for those that don't know Bricklink, you can buy new bricks, so they've never, really been played with. You can buy used bricks, which will save you a couple bucks.
And actually, if you're interested in knowing more about Bricklink, you can go back in our archives, and we did do a Sunday show where Holly showed us all about Bricklink, so you can go back and check that out.
So I go down here to the bottom, say add to my wanted list. It goes, it's been added, view BB8. And then I go here, all the parts are here again. I have got another option if I don't want an item, I can buy one, I can select what I want. But let's just say for giggles, we're gonna buy this item. I can say I'm buying it from anywhere in the world, do an auto select. It may be set up just on the USA, I think. But what's interesting, and this is where, it kind of really makes you feel good about buying Lego sets.
Yeah.
If I purchase this, and of course, I don't think it has all the shipping in it, but this would cost me $32, right? And if you go back to Lego.com, you can buy the set for $20.
Wow.
So, you really kind of see the markup that happens on Bricklink, from shipping, from all the different individual pieces. Some may be more rare than others. You may want to go back and just double check, and you may want to say, okay, let me buy them all used or something, and then you'll save some money possibly.
Well, I know. So Osorg designed his micro haunted house in in studio and sent me the files so that I could build it. And then I realized I didn't have the pieces and I had to upload it onto Bricklink, and I uploaded it up there without taking out the parts that I already knew I had. And it was like $90. I mean, it's a micro, I mean, it's a really brilliant build, but I was like, wow, that is crazy. But it also
it
has
might be
a lot
one piece that's like super, hard to find.
Yep. Yep.
Or it may be an old piece, so you really have to kind of double check it.
Also sand green.
Yep. Exactly. So that's kind of my overview. These are some of the models that you guys have probably seen on Instagram, the giant bricks, which I know everyone has really kind of enjoyed, and
they're amazing.
Going through and building all the pieces. So I'm upscaling each of these. I made Lego instructions, I think, for Minifig Chick for a clear 2x3 because she had asked me, and I do owe. There's a couple of people that wanted the Christmas tree or the pine tree. This guy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, nice.
I'm happy to share these with the community too. So I need to make instructions. Obviously I need to clean all that up and get it together. So why I probably haven't sent it out yet. But,
right.
Always happy to share with people. So and if anyone wants any more user help on this, I've done personal Zoom time chats with people. But granted, I am moving in the next 25 days, so
exactly
some time to get reset up. So.
Awesome.
Hopefully that helped everyone. I don't know if that was good or,
It was amazing. Are you kidding? So let's go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and unshare your screen so we can get your mug back up here. Awesome. Wow, Kristoffer, thank you so much. That was incredibly informative. And again, like when Kristoffer and I were talking about this, I was saying, we need to make sure, let's keep it simple because this is an intro class. And this truly was an intro class, y'all. Like, what he showed you is just like skimming the surface of what is what's fully there. And I wanted to say this is now the second Monday in a row that we've had a TrickyLUG community member come on and show us something. Last week we had Yano River Blue with the amazing stop action class, and now Kristoffer. And if you are interested in doing that, if you have something that you would like to share with everybody, teach people, let me know at flynn@trickybricks.com. You can check that. You can email me there, and we can see if it's something that we can set up. So definitely interested in seeing what people have going on. Reminder that our challenge this week is a build a building. This is like an architecture challenge. Build a building that means something to you. So when we went on Lego Masters, they had us build a building that we felt represented us, that meant something to us. So Richard and I built that theater up there, which if you go back in our YouTube archives, we do a tour of it. And so it was a theater. So this is a challenge to build something that is meaningful to you, that you know really well, so that you can really get in and get those details. Okay, so that is. Can it be a landscape instead of a specific building? Sure, absolutely. Yeah, this is we're pretty loosey-goosey here. We're like open with our challenges. So speaking of challenges. I am going over to the votes to see where we at. We had 108 votes, which is amazing.
Wow, that's incredible.
We had 108 votes to see who is going to get the recipient of this awesome Adventure Time Lego Ideas set, which is really fun. So, drum roll, please. Our winner is... Oh, so wait, no, she's putting the vote link back up again. Okay, I'm going to give it another 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to get in that vote if you haven't gotten one in already. Sorry, she threw the link up. I don't want to confuse anybody. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get your votes, your last minute votes in. And then I will announce oops, it's the wrong link. I understand. Nope, that's the Bricklink page.
Bricklink.
Okay, so... You can vote on Bricklink, I suppose, but no, that's okay. I would actually prefer if we just let's call it here at 108 votes. I think that's fine. No worries. I did want to give everybody extra time, but let's leave it where it is. 108 votes. So back to this again. Ooh, it's like whiplash. Richard would be laughing very hard right now. He would be telling me to breathe right now. All right. So the winner of the Adventure Time Lego Idea set is Ms. Slow Brickta for her home model. Yay! Congratulations. Yeah, I know. It was hard, and I wish that we had something to give away to everyone, but we have this. And I kind of liked doing it this way. It's like we did the challenge and then didn't say anything about a prize until the end, and then that way people just like built and it wasn't like a thing. But, I think it's important to, let's recognize people in our community who are doing amazing work. And so, yeah, Ms. Slow Brickta, congratulations. And I already have your address, so I will get this out in the mail to you. So very exciting. What an exciting show. Kristoffer, again, thank you so much for coming and sharing your knowledge and amazing talent. And just looking at some of your amazing architecture work, I was just like, I was blown away. I love how you were just so casual.
If anyone needs a house.
Yeah, and I love that you were so casual. You were so casual about it. You're like, oh, this is a resort that I did in Cabo, and then this. It's like, well, okay, I'll call you if we ever need to go to Cabo. But yeah, thank you again so much, and thank you everybody out there for coming and checking out the show. We'll be back on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Right now, I'm unsure of my Twitch schedule. I have something I have to do today. It's our Dungeon Master's birthday tonight, and I'm making her a special video that we're going to show before we start our game tonight. So I'm excited that I got that to do this afternoon, and I've got a commission. So I've got some like actual work to do, and so right now Twitch is kind of like I'm not sure. So actually just keep an eye on the Discord channel because I usually post there when I'm doing if I'm going to be doing Twitch. All right. Let's see. I am going to let me see. What have I got here? Oh well, I've got my clicky here. And I wanted to say thanks to Brett Cooper, Brett. Oh my God, sorry, Brett Hooper and Will Lechtworth. I was like thinking of both names at the same time for your awesome viewer mail. Super appreciate that. And I wanted to let everybody know that Wednesday we will be here at 10 a.m. with Blair Archer. Blair will be my co-host for the day. I'm not exactly sure what we're doing yet. We'll be talking about something awesome, I'm sure, and building something fun. Probably looking at some of the Blair's models, and then Friday I will be joined by Yano River Blue again, who will be joining me to co-host the slideshow for the challenge. Don't forget, I will be after the show today. I will go up and post the article that will have all the links to where you can upload your challenge builds for this week. And I also, because I forgot to do it last week, I wanted to say a special thank you to everybody who helps out on the show. Thank you, Maraid, for putting the slideshows together. Thank you to Moto and Cornado, Cowboy Cornado, and Minifig Chick, and Shane Levan for all of your duties here in the chat, and Shane for helping out with the website, and all of our wonderful Patreon subscribers who help us be able to do things like give away an awesome set and stuff like that. So thank you to everybody who helps to make this show possible. We really, really appreciate it. It's an incredible community, so we really, really appreciate it. We've built an awesome family here, and I'm really excited about that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I will see you for sure 10 a.m. on Wednesday. And don't forget that that's right, I gotta not forget that my button is not set up the right way, so I have to get this all set up before I start my little speech. So don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, get a flu shot. As Richard would say, build something amazing today, build an adventure, and we'll see you next time. All right. Bye, everyone.